In the headlines, bandits kill 7 worshippers, wound others in Kaduna mosque attack. Voter apathy, irregularities, violence characterizes Edo Council polls. 4 siblings die in Enugu building collapse. Also in the news, detained Senegal opposition leader Sonko ends hunger strike. Hello there, good evening and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. We begin the update in Kaduna on the attack as suspected bandits have attacked worshippers in a mosque at Sayasaya village in Ikara local government area of the state, killing 7 persons. Now, 5 of the victims were gunned down in the mosque, while the remaining 2 victims were killed at different locations within the area. The incident happened around 8 p.m. when the villagers were performing Isha prayer at the mosque, according to local sources. A resident of the village, Dang Asabe, says 2 other villagers who sustained gunshot injuries were rushed to the hospital for treatment. The village head, Abdurrahman Yusuf, confirmed the incident, saying the head of the vigilante in the village was among the victims killed in the mosque attack. He says security agencies comprising soldiers and the police from Ikara town and Palgore area arrived at the scene around 12:30 a.m. But by then, the bandits had already left the village. According to the acting public relations officer of the State Police Command, Mansur Al-Hassan, who confirmed the incident, said security personnel had been mobilized to nearby bushes to fish out the perpetrators. Residents of Kuchiko Resettlement Development Area located in Buari have raised an alarm over rising cases of kidnapping within the area. Now, this followed the latest incident in the early hours of Saturday in the area popularly known as Erufai Estate. The victim, Chinedu, was whisked away from his home within the estate. The victim's wife told Daily Trust that the kidnappers, who were armed, forcefully took away her husband after breaking through the fence to gain entry into their compound. Now, they were yet to establish contact with the family at the time, at press time. Now, chairman of the Kuchiko Resettlement Development Area, Mai Baba Bego, who confirmed the development, disclosed that the latest incident has brought to 5 the number of kidnapping cases that have occurred in the area in the last couple of months. He also called for the deployment of security personnel to the area to avert further incidents. Police Public Relations Officer of the Federal Capital Territory, Josephine Ade, could not be reached for comments. In other security news, the police in Katsina State has arrested at least 15 suspects for kidnapping, fraud and other crimes across the state. Now, the suspects were paraded at the police headquarters in Katsina on Friday by the police spokesperson ASP Abubakar Sadiq. Among them were 4 suspected members of a notorious kidnap for ransom syndicate who were arrested on different dates and times in April this year. Also in the lineup that were paraded were 10 suspected fraudsters that specialize in defrauding unsuspected numbers of members of the public using counterfeit currencies. But the suspects were arrested with credible information about their activities in a house situated at Baikinkasua quarters in Kankia local government area of the state. Now, the command also paraded a 30-year-old suspected notorious member of a kidnap for ransom syndicate terrorizing Faskari local government area of Katsina State and its environs. Items recovered from the suspect include 3 rounds of 7.62 mm live ammunition, a bottle containing liquid suspected to be mercury, and 144 pieces of suspected counterfeit 1,000 naira notes, with the suspects admitting to having committed the crimes. Now, the local government council polls in Edo State were marred by low turnout of voters, violence, and electoral irregularities in some local government areas of the state. In some areas visited, voters say voting materials did not arrive at their voting centers until late in the day. Jonathan Awanya reports at several polling units, voting did not commence until about 1 p.m. in the afternoon, while in some others, a handful of voters were sighted waiting for the election to commence. His report.
The elections for chairmanship and councillorship positions in the 18 local government areas of Edo State on Saturday were marred by late arrival of materials. That story was virtually similar in other polling units visited in the Ego, Oredo, Iboba, Oka, and Orionwan local government areas of the state. Accreditation of voters was yet to commence at many polling units visited by 12:30 p.m. despite the distribution of sensitive and non-sensitive materials for the elections on Friday to allow for early commencement of the process. Some voters who spoke with Trust TV decried the late arrival of materials as well as officials.
This rubbish, so annoying, so infuriating, so aggravating, massing humanity to man. It is saddening, it is disheartening, disappointing, to say the least, that almost 11 o'clock, voting materials are not here for a process that SEC, Edo State Independent Electoral Commission, claimed to be exceedingly prepared for. Almost 11, the materials are not here. It is appalling, to say the least. And we are so disappointed. We are dismayed. And as you can see, the people are showing discontentment, disenchantment. It's already written in their faces. Look at the masses; they are angry. The voters, they are angry. They came here indeed to vote in their preferred candidate, all to none avail. So the government is not meeting to expectation. So we, the people of Edo State, we are indeed very angry. Yes. We are not happy about the situation. It is uncalled for. We can't take this anymore. If they are not conducting election, they should tell us that they are not conducting election, and we will let it be. If they are conducting, they should give us the modalities, and the election should be conducted. But on this ground, if we wait them till 11 o'clock and there is no arrival, we will tell the old people to evacuate these premises, and the election will not be conducted in Ikpobaha, and it was 7.
In Nwo, the local government area, voters alleged that there was no voting in most of the polling units.
This is 1042. We have not seen one material in any of the ward. We have 74 ward unit, 10 wards in Ikpobaha, 74 units in my ward, yes, specifically was 7. We have not been able to see one single materials. So we don't know what is happening. It's not supposed to be so. It's the election for the masses. Everybody wants to be seeing what is happening. And to me, as I speak with you now, I felt that thing has been adjacked. And if it has been adjacked, for me, it should be a shame to the government, because they told us that we should get ready for election, and we are ready for election. So if we are ready for election, we are prepared. Why would they keep us in dark? It's not good for me. If you know you have followers, you have fans, come to the field, vote and go home. If you win, we give you your winning. If you lose, we give you your losing. If we win, we take our win. If we lose, we take our losing. No need of you keeping us in dark, and everybody is here. We are all tired. So for me, I want the government to do the needful.
No accreditation, no vote. Unit 10, nothing was done. Even the school we are supposed to use was not cleared. No ballot box, nothing. And we just saw cameras coming in that they have done their vote. Only God knows where they did the vote. Inside one man's parlor, they just did thumbprint and carried it away. This is totally unacceptable by us. We can't take it, because this is what is killing this nation. If the vote here must stand, then everybody must vote in their mind. Yes. They should get us the ballot box, let us vote. Yes. We must fight for our rights, we must stand for our rights. Yes. We are not fools. Being in the village doesn't make us a fool. Yes. It doesn't make us an illiterate. Yes. We want to cast our vote now.
Since morning now, the community, men and women, we have been in this primary school, our polling unit. No ballot paper, nothing. So we are surprised now to see some pressmen. They told us that election is over, that we have voted. So the people, the entire community is very angry, because we have the right to cast our vote. Yes. We did not see any material, we did not see anybody. So we are surprised that they are telling us that we have both voted, whereby something like that did not happen. So as a citizen of this country, at least we have the right to vote, to cast our vote to any candidate of our choice.
However, according to the LCEC, scheduled voting ought to commence 8 a.m. and end 3 p.m.
Well, staying with the Edo Council elections, a little earlier we spoke to our reporter in Edo State, Jonathan Awanyai, for the latest on the council elections.
Okay, the election started at about 1:30 p.m. A lot of voters came out at 8 a.m. and waited till 1:30 to vote. In some areas, not until 2:30, voting did not commence. areas mostly across the Kobaoka, Oredu, and Ego. They said materials did not come at about 3 o'clock. So some vote from the state INEC and voting commenced. So I'm looking forward to probably the voting will end about 5 or 5:30. That is the situation. Well, as at the time we monitor the election, materials came late in some of the local governments. I can't exactly give a figure of how many local government elections took place, but I also do know that voters are still patiently waiting for materials at about 3:30, 4 p.m. There are areas where voting commenced at about 1 p.m. and it rained heavily, so some of the voters had to go home and come back again after the rain. They cited bad votes amongst other issues. There are some of these local governments where, even though it might just take it could possibly be 30 kilometers, but they have bad road issues, so they will have to look for an alternative route to access the community. So that is exactly their position on it. Well, as at the time elections were held early in the year, I want to assume that the road was not as bad as this, because some of these roads, are getting worse, occasioned by the frequent rainfall. For instance, if you have to go through the Asaba on its axis, which will lead you to some communities, for instance, Iboboka, you would have to meet gridlock, and in some areas you would have to meet a bad network of road occasioned by the flood. A clearer picture will be the Awuchi axis of Benin. You would agree with me that most of the truck drivers, because of the bad part of the road, would have to park on both sides, making it difficult for smaller vehicles to convey materials or to drive past the road. The same thing applies to Agbon on Onitsha Road. There are some persons who have been on the road for a day or more.
Now, the Nigerian Navy says it has handed over 4 men suspected to be on an oil theft operation to the Lagos Command of the Nigerian Police Force. Now, the commander of the NNS Beecroft, Lagos, Commodore Kolawole Ogutunga, disclosed this while briefing journalists in Lagos. Here's the report.
Commodore Oguntunga, while addressing the press on Friday at the Lagos State Command, said the Nigerian Navy, stationed at FOB Lekki, foiled an attempted oil theft operation on the waterways near Itolu Community, Lekki, on Wednesday, 29 August, when local youths reported gunshots in the community. Oguntunga stated that upon receiving a distress call from the Itolu community, its patrol teams immediately launched a response operation which led to the arrest of 4 men dressed in black polo with Tan Tita written on it.
These men were trying to forcefully collect an outboard engine, 300 horsepower outboard engine, from a local. In fact, they were screaming, thief, 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 when the men got there. They were able to apprehend them and retrieve the engine. It was after this arrest, the men now realized that these 4 individuals are a part of a group escorting a wooden boat with 2 fiber boats.
He assured law-abiding citizens, particularly those in coastal communities, that security agencies will not relent in their effort towards making sure the environment is conducive for them to go about their legitimate businesses.
Sophisticated bulletproof platforms that were handed over to the police. The chief of the naval staff came to commission this boat. It's because of the synergy, and these boats have been coming to our dockyard for maintenance. And there we share information, we share intelligence. So we are working together. And the leadership will continue to sustain this synergy and will take it to greater heights for other states to learn. Thank you.
The Lagos Commissioner of Police, Idowu Owohunwa, while receiving the suspects and exhibits, assured of working with the Navy to clear the waterways of crimes and criminality.
And that is a clear statement to the criminals that as far as Lagos State internal security space is concerned, they have in us a very strong united force to respond and commonly deal with any group, network, individuals that might wish to test our common will. The will remains strong. The synergy remains strong.
He thanked Oguntuga for the confidence and the operational breakthrough that has been recorded under his command and assured that the two agencies will work together to keep Lagosians safe.
Well, staying with that story, responding to it, a private security outfit, Tantita Security Services Limited, has kicked against the arrest of its operatives by the Nigerian Navy. Tantita is a security outfit contracted by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited to protect pipelines across the Niger Delta from vandalism. Now, the security outfit made this known in a statement issued on Saturday describing the actions of the Nigerian Navy as, quote, comedy of errors, according to the company. The news credited to the commander of the NNS Beecroft of the Nigerian Navy, Commodore Kolawole Olumide Oguntunga, saying the Nigerian Army arrested 4 Tantita personnel for alleged crude oil theft was unfortunate. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up ahead after the break, is bail really free? Answers coming up ahead after the break. Welcome back to the news, and thank you very much for staying with us. Here's a reminder of our top stories at this hour. Bandits kill 7 worshippers, wound others in Kaduna mosque attack. Voter apathy, irregularities, violence characterize Edo Council elections. The Enugu Capital Territory Development Agency has confirmed that 4 children of the same family have been killed in a building collapse in the agri quarters at the Gbemena axis of Coal Camp in Enugu. The chairman of the ECTDA, Uche Anya, disclosed this to journalists on Saturday after inspecting the site of the collapsed building. Anya noted that the bungalow building located at the agri quarters in Coal Camp area collapsed on Friday night around 8 p.m. after a downpour in the area. He said the structure was approved for animal husbandry but was converted to a residential building. While lamenting that the collapsed building was not healthy for human residents, the ECTDA chairman revealed that the structure had 44 rooms with about 200 residents. The chairman says that the agency would continue to sensitize members of the public on the need to live in a more conducive environment in order to avoid future occurrences. Elsewhere, the Federal Road Safety Corps in Ondo State says 2 people have died while 5 others were injured in an accident on Friday night at Olokuta area of the Akure-Ondo Road. Ezekiel Sonala, the sector commander of the FRC in the state, confirmed the incident on Saturday. Sonala, who explained that the accident occurred at about 5:48 p.m., says it involved 6 male adults and 1 female adult. The sector commander attributed the cause of the crash, which involved 1 commercial vehicle and a Honda Accord car, to overspeeding. Sonala admonished motorists to always abide by the traffic rules and regulations, saying any violation would be arrested or violator would be arrested and prosecuted. Now, bail is a legal right guaranteed under Section 35 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. According to Nigerian law, a person will be released from custody either on the undertaking of a surety or their own recognizance. Ibrahim Ismail speaks to a legal practitioner on the bail conditions vis-a-vis what is applicable in the system.
Nigeria's 1999 constitution provides that an accused person is entitled to be released on bail if the alleged offense is bailable as stipulated by law. The bail can be granted on self-recognition or bond to produce a surety.
Condition or a situation of a temporary or a conditional release of somebody who has been accused of committing a crime pending the determination of the charge against him. Any citizen that is charged with a criminal offense is presumed to be innocent until he is proven guilty. So the period from investigation to the conclusion of your trial, wherein the court may pronounce you guilty or not guilty, within that period, that is the period that you talk about bail.
The legal practitioner who highlighted some criteria for a surety said there are violations of provision of the law in the bail system which needs to be addressed.
If the investigating agency feels that that person is qualified, the person can stand as surety. The surety will be required to sign a bond. That bond is just an amount of money that will be forfeited by the surety in case the suspect jumps bail or runs away. It's not as if you are paying that bond as a condition for the release on bail of the suspect. So what it means is that by the time investigation is concluded and the person is found to be innocent or the person is subsequently charged to court, that bond that the surety entered will be released to the surety.
According to the Nigerian Correctional Service, there are 80,883 inmates in 253 custodian centers across the country, but 55,257 are awaiting trial, representing 68% of the total inmates detained.
Because by the time you don't adhere to what the law says, well, in respect of bail, you yourself, you don't have any difference with the person you are investigating, because the person you are investigating has broken a law. And if you don't grant him bail in accordance to the law, you yourself, you have broken the law, so you don't even have any difference with him.
There are a lot of corruption allegations in the Nigerian legal system, which legal experts say are responsible for the delay in the dispensation of justice. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
Well, turning our attention to developments on the international scene, detained Senegalese opposition leader Ousmane Sonko, an aspiring presidential candidate and head of the state, Macky Sall's fiercest critic, on Saturday ended a hunger strike he began on July 30th. Sonko has faced a string of legal woes since 2021 he claims are aimed at keeping him out of politics. Sonko was arrested in late July and charged with crimes including fomenting insurrection, criminal association in connection with a terrorist enterprise, and undermining state security over incidents dating back to 2021. In a separate affair, he was on June 1st sentenced in absentia to 2 years in prison for morally corrupting a young woman, a conviction that makes him ineligible to stand in next year's election. After beginning the hunger strike, he was hospitalized on August 6th and then admitted to an intensive care, according to his lawyers and his party. The decision comes after several Muslim leaders urged Sonko to end his hunger strike protests. In Muslim-majority Senegal, religious leaders have often helped to mediate political impasses. Sonko's lawyers and party had warned that his health had seriously deteriorated and his life was, quote, in danger. 2 Chinese nationals and 2 others were killed in an attack on a convoy carrying gold in the Democratic Republic of Congo's lawless east, according to local authorities in a statement released on Saturday. Friday's ambush targeted a 4-vehicle convoy belonging to TSM Mining, which was carrying gold from a site near the Kimbi River in the Fizi region of South Kivu province. The attackers stole parcels of gold, which they took away into the bush, according to Sami Badibanga, the top local official in Fizi. Now, the 2 others killed were a Congolese soldier and a driver. Kolonji says 3 others were wounded in the attack. He says the attackers were locals from the neighboring Maniema region. Talking sports now, Nigeria's badminton star Ano Luwapo Opeori has expressed disappointment with his shocked exit from the ongoing badminton classics in Lagos. After a decent outing in the quarterfinals, Opeori suffered a surprise defeat to UAE's Somi Rodani in a straight set 24-21, 21-13. Opeori's quarterfinals feat has also boosted his chances of qualifying for the Olympics as well, regardless of the defeat, and hope to surpass his debut outing at Paris in 2024 Olympics. Ese Broom put behind her setback in the women's long jump final at the 2023 World Athletics Championships in Budapest, Hungary, as she won bronze at the German Diamond League competition. Ese jumped 6.71 meters to finish 3rd at the German Diamond League in China. World champion Ivana Vuleta from Serbia claimed gold with 6.88 meters, while Mert Koala from Burkina Faso finished 2nd to win silver with 6.79 meters. Bronze in the 2019 edition of the World Athletics Championship in Doha, Qatar, and earned a silver medal in Oregon in USA in 2022, finishing 4th in the Budapest final. Well, that's it. You're up to date with the latest news stories at this hour. Thank you most kindly for joining us. As always, feel free to follow us across our social media platforms for more content and visit trusttv.com for more news. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you for watching.